As the war between Israel and Hamas continues, the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has now called for immediate ceasefire in Gaza and has also urged Israel to increase the flow of aid into Gaza, keeping in view humanitarian catastrophe in the area. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has called for an immediate ceasefire, forcefully also pressed Israel to increase the flow of aid to what has been called as the inhumane conditions and a humanitarian catastrophe among the Palestinian people, as Kamala Harris's comments were amongst the sharpest yet by a senior leader of the U.S. government, calling for Israel to alleviate the conditions in Gaza. Now, this is coming across as far as the U.S. has continued with it dropping of aid into Gaza, but as far as more aid that has been incoming, let me go across to Rishabh now. As far as more aid that is now being said by United States and other countries as well, we are looking at one of the biggest comments that is now coming in from the U.S. Vice President herself, asking for an immediate ceasefire. Rishabh. Rishabh, are you connected? So keeping in view when it comes to the humanitarian catastrophe that is now being witnessed in the area, here is Kamala Harris, the U.S. Vice President, who has called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and has also urged Israel when it comes to increasing the flow of aid in Gaza, keeping in view the inhumane conditions. As far as this is the biggest comment, Rishabh, that is now coming in from the U.S. Vice President.
Well, definitely, this is by far the strongest comment that has come in from the senior leadership of the United States when it comes to Israel-Hamas war that began in October after October 7th terror attack in southern Israel. Apart from that, if we see yesterday in Cairo, there were a ceasefire talk which Israel boycotted, saying that unless and until Hamas furnishes a full list of hostage that they have from Israel and world over, there is no question of ceasefire. Remember, last week, the world woke up to a horrific news where more than 100 people had died because of bombing at a place where people had lined up for humanitarian assistance. Since then, U.S. has been calling for ceasefire, and now Kamala Harris, who was in Alabama yesterday, very clearly stated that Hamas should definitely agree to the rule that Israel is putting forward, furnish the list and allow the 6-week-long ceasefire that can further help the world powers, the Western powers, the different parts of the world to send more humanitarian.
For an immediate ceasefire in Gaza and also asking Israel to increase the flow of aid to ease what she has called as the inhumane conditions and a humanitarian catastrophe amongst the Palestinian people.